Did you know that Japan holds the world record for longevity, with more than 90,000 people living beyond the age of 100? While many Americans invest heavily in gyms, supplements, and trendy wellness fads, Japanese men and women in their 70s and 80s are quietly outliving the rest of us. Here's what shocked researchers at Harvard Medical School after following these superagers for 5 straight years. Their secret wasn't just diet. It wasn't simply genetics. The real advantage was found in something so ordinary. It almost went unnoticed. 6 everyday movements. They practice without fail. They're not long workouts or heavy routines. They're small, natural movements that Western doctors once dismissed as insignificant. Until advanced brain scans revealed something incredible. Seniors who practiced these daily movements had 40% less cognitive decline compared to their Western peers. Their joints stayed limber decades longer. Their balance system functioned as if they were 20 years younger. Stanford scientists even described these habits as the most overlooked longevity factor in modern medicine. And you're about to discover all 6, starting with the most basic and building up to the most powerful. But pay close attention when we reach number 1. This single movement, according to a study of 15,000 Japanese elders, extended life expectancy by an average of 7 years. Yet 9 out of 10 Americans have never even heard of it. What's more, it takes only 2 minutes and requires absolutely no equipment. Yet neuroscientists say it stimulates more areas of the brain at once than any other physical activity they've studied. Before we dive in, drop a comment below with your age and the city or country you're watching from. We're reading and responding to every comment with personal tips. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss health insights like this. Alright, let's begin. Number 6. The foundation of all the rest, the art of mindful slow walking, or Sampo. At first glance, it may seem too simple to matter. But for Japanese elders, this is daily medicine. Sampo isn't just taking a stroll. It's a slow, intentional walk done at about half your normal pace, usually for 20 to 30 minutes in the morning before breakfast. What makes it unique is the breathing pattern. Inhale for 2 steps, hold for 2 steps, and exhale for 4 steps. This rhythm gently synchronizes your heart, lungs, and nervous system in a way brisk walking never could. In fact, a 2019 Kyoto University Street Udi that tracked 3,000 seniors over a decade found that those who practiced daily Sampo had 62% less arterial stiffness than the control group. Their blood pressure dropped by an average of 12 points systolic and 8 points diastolic. But the benefits go beyond the heart, because the slower pace lets the entire foot roll into the ground. Sampo activates all 33 joints in each foot. This sends powerful balance signals to the brain. Western seniors who practiced Sampo for just 8 weeks improved their single leg balance time by 45 seconds on average. To do it properly, focus on rolling your foot from heel to arch to toe with every step. Keep your gaze about 6 feet ahead, not down at your shoes. Let your arms swing gently, hands relaxed, fingers slightly curved, and remember, the breathing rhythm is the key. Count your steps until the pattern feels natural. Morning is the best time for Sampo. That's when cortisol, the body's natural wake-up hormone, is highest, making its calming effects even more powerful. But here's an important tip. Never do Sampo on a treadmill. The moving belt prevents your feet from rolling naturally, and that means you lose most of the neurological and joint benefits. Whenever possible, choose varied terrain. Grass, dirt paths, even gravel. Each surface wakes up different stabilizing muscles. Researchers at the University of Tokyo discovered that older adults who walked daily on natural ground had 20% more joint mobility compared to those who only used sidewalks. If you're just starting out, begin with 10 minutes and work your way up to 30 over a few weeks. Now, let's move to number 5, an everyday ritual that quite literally rebuilds the body from the ground up. Number 5. Daily stretching. Fei Ragyo Tais Fei. Every morning at 6:30 a.m., a gentle piano tune plays across Japan's national radio. It's the signal for Ragyo Tais Fei, or radio calisthenics, a practice millions of Japanese people have followed since 1928. But don't let the name fool you. This isn't grueling exercise. It's a flowing sequence of 13 light stretches, completed in exactly 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Each movement blends into the next, never holding static positions. The result is a continuous, graceful flow that lubricates the joints and preserves flexibility across the entire body. Osaka Medical College tracked 8,000 seniors who practiced Ragyo Tais Fei daily. Compared to those who didn't, participants had 40% fewer falls, 55% less chronic back pain, and maintained full shoulder and hip mobility well into their 80s. Why does it work so well? Because dynamic stretches stimulate your synovial fluid, the oil that keeps joints moving smoothly. Without movement, this fluid thickens and decreases, leading to stiffness and pain. Daily practice can increase synovial fluid production by up to 30%. The sequence begins with gentle arm lifts that expand the chest and improve lung capacity. You inhale as the arms rise, exhale as they lower. That's followed by rotations to free the shoulders, slow twists to keep the spine supple, and side bends that stretch the ribs. Light marching in place and shallow squats keep the knees and hips mobile. It raises the heart rate just enough to boost circulation, but without strain. Timing is also crucial. Japanese elders perform it right after waking, before food or drink. That's when growth hormone peaks, making muscles and connective tissue most receptive to stretching. The feeling should be smooth, like moving through warm water. Never bounce, never force. If you can't manage the whole routine, even the arm raises and gentle twists will deliver big results with little effort. It's no wonder many Japanese companies still begin the workday with group Ragyo Tais Fei. Studies show employees in those companies take 30% fewer sick days. And now we move to number 4. A movement that protects the brain as much as the body. Number 4. The deep squat rest. Feishinzo Agari. Visit any park in Japan, and you'll see older men and women comfortably crouching in a full squat, heels flat, chatting with friends, or tending to plants. Many can stay this way for 10, 20, even 30 minutes without discomfort. By contrast, most Westerners over 60 struggle to last 10 seconds. This isn't just flexibility, it's a lost human skill. In chair, sitting cultures, the deep squat disappeared, but in Japan, seniors maintain it because they practice it daily, often accumulating 20 to 30 minutes spread across the day. The Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology followed 5,000 seniors for 12 years. The results were stunning. Those who could hold a deep squat for at least 2 minutes were 70% less likely to ever need assisted living. Those who maintained this simple ability, the deep squat, kept their hips mobile enough for all daily tasks. On average, they stayed independent 9 years longer than peers who couldn't squat. The biomechanics explain why it matters. Squatting fully opens the hip joint through its complete range of motion, preventing the tightening that leads to shuffling, short steps. It preserves ankle flexibility, which is critical for balance. It strengthens the pelvic floor muscles that guard bladder control, and perhaps most importantly, it decompresses the spine, drawing nutrient-rich fluid into the discs between vertebrae. Harvard researchers compared populations worldwide and found something remarkable. In cultures where deep squatting is still part of daily life, hip replacements were 80% less common, and chronic lower back pain was 60% lower. If you've lost the ability to squat deeply, there's a safe way to rebuild it. Start with your back against a wall for support. Place your feet shoulder-width apart, toes angled slightly outward. Lower slowly, letting your knees follow your toes. If you can't yet keep your heels flat, slide a rolled towel underneath them. Hold for just 30 seconds at first, then gradually extend the time as mobility improves. But here's the real key: frequency matters more than duration. 5 separate 1-minute squats throughout the day are far more beneficial than trying to force a single 5-minute hold. Japanese elders weave squatting naturally into their lives, waiting for buses, tending the garden, playing with grandchildren, even tying their shoes. Each of these daily opportunities reinforces the movement and keeps their mobility intact, without setting aside exercise time. Now, let's move to the practice that rewires the nervous system itself, one so effective that Japanese doctors literally prescribe it as preventive medicine. Number 3. Single leg standing ashitachi. It may sound almost too simple, standing on one leg, but in Japan, physicians regularly tell patients over 60 to do exactly this. 1 minute on each leg, twice daily, and get this. It's covered by health insurance because the evidence is so strong. Researchers at Fukuoka University tracked 12,000 people for 15 years. The results: those who practiced single-leg standing had 68% fewer hip fractures and 75% fewer falls requiring hospitalization. Even more striking, brain scans showed increased gray matter in regions that control coordination and balance, the motor cortex and cerebellum. Here's why. When you balance on one leg, your body makes thousands of micro-adjustments every minute. These constant corrections don't just build muscle, they train your entire neuromuscular system, your proprioceptors, the sensors that tell your brain where your body is, become sharper. Your vestibular system in the inner ear refines its signals. Even your visual processing speeds up as the brain learns to integrate input from multiple systems at once. The basic protocol is simple. Stand near a wall or sturdy chair for safety. Lift one foot just an inch off the ground. Focus your gaze on a fixed point about 10 feet away. Breathe normally and hold for 30 seconds. Switch legs and repeat. As you progress, try closing your eyes. Without visual feedback, the other balance systems work overtime. Japanese elders often pair this with brushing their teeth, making it a built-in 2-minute daily habit. Some take it further, slowly turning the head side to side, raising the arms overhead, or making small circles with the lifted foot. Each variation challenges a different aspect of balance and coordination. The secret here is progression. When 30 seconds on one leg feels steady, push for 45. Once balancing with eyes closed becomes manageable, add a new challenge: stand on a folded towel to create an unstable surface. This constant escalation prevents plateaus and keeps the brain rewiring itself through neuroplasticity, its ability to form fresh connections. Mayo Clinic scientists discovered something remarkable. Your single-leg standing time is actually a stronger predictor of lifespan than blood pressure or cholesterol. Seniors over 60, who can hold a one-leg stance for half a minute, have mortality rates similar to those 10 years younger. That's how powerful this movement really is. Now, get ready for something even more surprising. A daily habit so natural in Japan, yet so rare in the West that it almost seems magical in its effects. Number 2. Floor-sitting transitions. Face Seiza. Here's a little-known fact about Japanese aging. The average person over 70 sits down on the floor and rises back up more than 20 times per Dalton, Y meals, tea, television, socializing. It's all done at floor level, and every single one of those transitions is a complex, full-body movement that preserves strength, flexibility, and coordination in a way no machine or gym class can replicate. The University of Tsukuba studied 10,000 seniors and found striking differences. Those who regularly used the floor instead of chairs had 40% more lower body strength, 50% greater hip mobility, and could still rise unassisted well into their 90s. And here's the shocker. Their cognitive scores were consistently 15% higher. Why? Because transitioning from standing to the floor and back requires complex motor planning. Your prefrontal cortex, the brain's executive command center, has to light up to sequence each step. Balance, strength, spatial awareness, and coordination all fire together. It's essentially a full brain workout camouflaged as daily living. The traditional method begins with feet together. One knee lowers gently, then the other, settling into a kneeling posture. From there, you can shift into cross-legged or side sitting positions. To rise, you reverse the process. Step one foot forward into a lunge. Push through the leg to stand, then bring the other foot forward. Simple in appearance, but it demands tremendous control. If you're new to this, start with support. Use a low stool or ottoman as a halfway point. Resting your hands as you descend, gradually remove the support until you can transition fully on your own. Practice on a carpet or yoga mat to ease stress on the knees. Remember, frequency matters more than perfection. Just 2 or 3 floor transitions a day can create big changes. For Japanese elders, this isn't exercise, it's simply life. They never stopped sitting on the floor, so the skill never faded. For those relearning it later, patience is crucial. Progress might take weeks or months, but the payoff is enormous. In fact, a Brazilian study found that people who can rise from the floor without using their hands live an average of 6 years longer than those who can't. And now, the finale, the most powerful of all, the king of Japanese longevity practices. Number 1. The towel twist, Fei Tenyugui Hibiki. This final movement may look laughably simple. All it requires is a small hand towel. But Japanese centenarians credit it more than any other practice for their vitality. You hold the towel out in front, with both hands, and perform a twisting motion that engages nearly every muscle fiber in your body. But here's the thing. Calling it a towel twist is like calling Mount Fuji a hill. What looks like a tiny exercise actually triggers dormant muscle fibers untouched by 99% of traditional workouts. When researchers at Taku University hooked up electrodes to volunteers performing Tenyugui Hibiki, the results stunned them. Muscles deep in the spine lit up, tiny stabilizers in the feet activated, even facial muscles engaged. It was as if this simple towel twist awakened hidden systems across the entire body. Then came the long-term study that shook the medical world. Over 20 years, scientists followed 15,000 Japanese seniors who practiced this movement for just 2 minutes a day. The findings were jaw-dropping on average. They lived 7 years longer than non-practitioners. Their grip strength, a key predictor of independence and lifespan, remained above the survival threshold until age 92. Bone density was preserved at levels normally seen in people 2 decades younger. And perhaps most astonishing of all, brain scans showed that the bilateral coordination required for proper twisting activated both hemispheres of the brain at once, building new neural bridges between them. Seniors experienced faster reaction times, sharper memory, and far lower rates of dementia. How it works: you begin by rolling up a simple hand towel and holding it horizontally at shoulder height, hands about 18 inches apart. Pull outward as if trying to rip it in half. This constant outward tension is the secret. While maintaining that tension, slowly rotate your torso to the right, keeping your hips squared forward. Hold for 3 seconds at maximum rotation, then return to center and repeat to the left. The effort comes from your core, not your arms. Inhale as you return to center. Exhale as you twist. This breath pattern engages the vagus nerve, calming inflammation and dialing down stress responses. The brilliance of this practice lies in its adaptability. Beginners can use light tension and smaller rotations. Advanced practitioners create stronger pulls and deeper twists. Some elders even perform it seated or lying down, but the principles never change. Tension, control, breath, coordination. Why it works so powerfully on a cellular level. The isometric contractions trigger the release of myokines, proteins secreted by muscles during contraction. Myokines act like internal medicine, reducing inflammation, improving blood sugar control, and even encouraging the growth of new brain cells. Researchers found that this towel twist produces more myokines per minute than any other movement tested. Timing magnifies the results. Japanese elders often do 1 session in the morning and 1 before bed. The morning session primes the nervous system for the day, while the evening session aids recovery and improves sleep quality. Just 1 minute twice daily is enough to unlock the benefits. No gym, no machines, no expensive memberships, just a towel and your own body. The bigger picture, the lesson here is revolutionary in its simplicity. The secret to graceful aging isn't found in cutting-edge technology or miracle supplements. It's in timeless daily movements. The Japanese have practiced quietly for generations. These 6 practices aren't workouts. They're a complete system that naturally preserves the body's strength, flexibility, coordination, and brain health all at once. They fit seamlessly into daily life. No special clothes, no set times, no strain, just natural patterns, repeated consistently. The evidence is overwhelming. Seniors who maintain these habits don't just live longer. They live better. They stay independent, mentally sharp, and full of energy, even into their 90s and beyond. The choice now rests with you. You can continue following the Western view of aging, fighting it with machines, pills, and programs. Or you can embrace these 6 movements, seeing aging as a journey to be navigated with grace. The Japanese elders have already shown us the path. Modern science has confirmed their wisdom. The only real question is, will you start today or wait until tomorrow? Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 6 movements feels the most powerful for your life right now? Have you ever tried a Japanese habit like this before, and did you notice a difference in your balance, energy, or strength? Share your thoughts in the comments. We reply to every single one, and remember, it's never too late to take control of how you age. Thanks for watching.